Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Jacob with Prominence Games, and today we're going to be doing a little deck profile and some games here with our new and improved Wormadam deck. A couple weeks ago I posted a tier list video at the beginning of the Brilliant Stars standard format where I kind of just showed off the decks that I thought were pretty good, ones I was predicting were going to do well in Salt Lake. And now that it's been a little while, people have started really testing the format and seeing what they like a little bit more definitely. I'm one of the people, I'm not going to Salt Lake myself, but I have been testing pretty heavily into the format in person with friends of mine, and I built just about every deck, and I think this one, the Wormadam deck, is probably the most underrated deck I have seen in the entire format. If I was going to Salt Lake, I will be in Indianapolis and the other one, New Jersey, which are both going to be in this format. This is my absolute number one, the front runner of the decks that I would like to play, and I'm going to show you why here today. So our main attacker in the deck is the Wormadam with the Matron's Anger, reminiscent of Vespiquen from Ancient Origins. It does 30 damage for DCE plus 10 for each Pokemon in our discard pile. And there's actually 3 of the different Wormadams that have the same attack: a Fighting, a Metal, and a Grass. We aren't playing the Grass one in the deck here today just because of other cards, which I'll show you in a moment. But with Fighting and Metal, they cover very relevant weaknesses. Ice Rider is just extremely good. It's doing super well in the online tournaments with or without Arceus V-Star, so being able to hit weakness on them and one-shot them is very important. And then the Fighting one is arguably even better than that. Arceus is probably the most relevant card in the entire game right now, and getting to knock them out in one hit pretty easily with that solid base of 30, and then the weakness is super powerful. And combined with the fact that we're running all one prize Pokemon in this deck, as you can see, there's no Vs. It's very easy to win the prize trade against decks like that. So we're going to be using those. We have 3 Burmese here instead of 4, as you can see with the evolution, and that is because of our backup here, Zoroark from Evolving Skies. We have a 4/4 this Zoroark. It's the best card in the entire deck by far. With that Phantom Transformation ability, you can switch to this Pokemon from your field with a different stage 1 in your discard pile, which usually will end up being one of your Wormadams. Basically being able to have 7 basics that can turn into whatever Pokemon you want to attack with ensures that you're never going to like run out of attackers. We have our Chinchino here, which will usually occupy the rest of our bench, so we just want to make sure that we're never swept, because it does take a full turn to get one of our attackers loaded up and ready to go because it has to evolve. So other than a Wormadams, you might be asking, what are we switching our Zoroark into? So we have a couple of different stage 1s in our deck that solve that goal. The most important, probably the best one in the deck, is the Golisopod with Hard Time Slash, doing 30 plus 50 more for each V and GX your opponent has in play. This is an incredibly good attack, specifically against Mew VMAX, which has 310 HP. If you think about their average board, which typically consists of 2 Mews, 3 Genesects, and a Meloetta, with a Choice Belt, which we do play 2 of them in this deck, you're hitting for a solid 310, which is exactly enough to knock out a Mew VMAX, and that is quite insane if you ask me. I cannot express how good this card is. It also covers that grass weakness that we were talking about a little bit earlier, so things like Umbreon from Single Strike and just other things that might be weak to grass are all going to fall under the category of knocked out with this Golisopod. The next attacker we have is the Flapple here from Evolving Skies, doing 50 for each ability your opponent has in play. And this is super helpful against things like Suicune, Zacian, Entei, maybe just lots of things that play Drizziles and Inteleons that are usually going to fill their entire field with Pokemon with abilities. And this one typically tends to be good in like those miscellaneous matchups where maybe you're not playing against something that's super streamlined. This kind of covers those bases from below, so you don't get hit against something weird and just kind of lose by default. This one is more of a tech. It's the Gorbis here from Fusion Strike, and as long as it's in play, your opponent's Rapid Strike Pokemon have no abilities. As you can see here from the Pokemon in our deck, all of our Pokemon have very small HP, and they are very susceptible to Gmax Rapid Flow from our Rapid Strike or Shifu matchup. We do play the Manaphy here to protect our bench a little bit, but Quick Shooting is another thing that is very relevant. Will snipe us, and it's sort of a problem. This Gorbis fixes that and turns Rapid Strike, which is a pretty prevalent deck right now, into a more even matchup. I found that this combo basically shores up the matchup enough to where I'm comfortable playing against it. I don't think you need any more than this. I wouldn't be opposed to taking out the Gorbis if that's something that, maybe in your area or whatever regionals you're going to, you're not expecting Rapid Strike to be a huge deck. Go ahead and cut the Gorbis. The Manaphy should be fine. I just like shoring up that matchup because in the locals that I played at recently, that just is something relevant and I don't like to lose to it. And our last tech card here in the deck is the Galarian Wheezing. Now this is a tech that a friend of mine, Evan from N21 for Game, shout out to them, recommended to me recently before a local tournament. So one of the things previously with this list, as you can see by our energy count, minus the basic dark, which is here for the Wheezing, we play all special energies. So if we're playing against something like Duraludon or Shadow Rider with that Shadow Mist attack or Whimsicott V-Star, anything like that, we are just guaranteed to lose basically. And having 0-100 matchups is definitely something that I don't like. So this Wheezing here, it's super helpful against Mew. You can kind of just set it up with your Zoroark pretty easily and then keep it in the active. And as long as it's there, Mew's not going to do anything to you. And you can just take as long as you want to set up your board, get ready to start playing the game. And then the game starts whenever you decide. Against Duraludon, especially with the list recently that won the Full Grip Games 2K event that plays the 4 collapsed stadiums, with the lists that aren't playing Crystal Cave, 40 damage of poison in between each turn, it adds up really quick if they're not healing 30 of it every turn. And they don't play the most switch or anything like that, and usually their deck revolves around having, you know, just a couple of Pokemon in play. So if you can chip that health down enough to where you can one-shot a Duraludon with a Worm, that seems relevant to me. The Dark Energy is also kind of helpful because the Flapple that I mentioned before does attack for 1 colorless. So the Dark isn't only used for the Wheezing, you can use it to take real knockouts in other matchups. And that's why I chose to, add this to the deck. That's definitely the most cheeky part of this entire list. I know some other friends of mine have decided they don't care enough about beating Shadow Rider and stuff to play the card, and that's totally fine. If I were to cut those 2 cards, I would probably add in another Marnie or Zinnia and then a 1 double turbo energy. The reason there's no double turbo energy in here right now is just because I found the -20 to be a lot for this deck to handle. It's not really worth it, and I'd much rather just use our Roseanne's backup here to put our normal twin energies back in the deck. That way we don't have to worry about that -20. It's not like Mad Party. Mad Party can kind of get away with the -20 sometimes, but I found this deck really cannot. So onto the bulk of our trainer cards here. We got our standard 4 Quick Ball, 4 Evolution Incense, and 4 Ultra Ball. Just basic consistency stuff to get our Pokemon in play. 2 Path to the Peak for our stadiums. Path to the Peak is great. We play no Vs. There's no downside to playing it for us. You could argue playing a collapsed stadium here might be nice. I originally was testing that with 1 Lumineon, 1 collapsed stadium, but just getting that combo out to get our Lumineon off the field wasn't really worth it. Plus, Path to the Peak is so good against our just some of the top decks in the format right now. That's how we beat Duraludon. It beats Mew, and it kind of just generally inconveniences everything else. For our supporters, it's a little on the low side for our draw supporters. We just play 4 Research, 1 Zinnia, and 1 Marnie. That's been enough for me. I can totally see the argument for 1 more draw supporter. The Zinnia's Resolve is super underrated. We want to discard cards from our hand. We have Pokemon we want to get rid of, and usually our opponent is going to have at least 4 Pokemon in play, which is a solid draw. 2 Boss, that tends to be enough to win the games. We're a single prize deck. We're going to be winning the prize trade anyway. And when we get a boss up for a Crobat, a Lumineon, or even to finish up a tag team, or not a tag team, what am I talking about? A VMAX. Just winning that prize trade is super important, and typically you're good to kind of just knock out whatever our opponent has in the active. And then our 2 Roseanne, like I mentioned before, getting back our Pokemon, tools, stadium, and energies. It kind of gets back all of the things I've mentioned before. Our tools here are going to be the 1 Air Balloon and the 2 Choice Belt to do extra damage to our opponent's Vs. An incredible card. I'm so glad they brought it back. And then lastly, our energies, like I said before, 4 Twin Energy and 1 Dark Energy. So this is the list. I've been really liking it a lot. It's still a work in progress right now. Tomorrow it might be the same day that you're seeing this, honestly. It's going to be the 5th of March at noon Eastern Standard Time. There's an online tournament, which I'll be streaming live on twitch.tv/prominence games. And then another tournament by Celio's Network at 4 on the same day, where I'll be playing the same deck. So ideally, one of the 2, we do pretty well. You can see how this deck works live. But I am going to have a couple of games I'm going to put up on the screen for you now, just so you can see how this works. And I will see you momentarily for today's tournament, but pretty much the same list. Oh, there's our supporter that we wanted. All right, we're golden. And we got the energy. Wow. Okay, this is looking up. So let's grab our Minccino here. Drop the path. I think I am going to attach here. This could be risky. Mew does have that thing where it can just Elisa's and knock me out. However, in this matchup, attacking with Zoroark isn't actually the worst thing to do, especially on turn 2. So if I have to attack with it, like, it's not the biggest deal. They do have the bump. I'm glad to get this energy in play before before they play this, just so I don't take the 20, I guess, but I would have loved to have that stick. Now they're going to probably get VIP pass and have the normal Mew thing. So hopefully this Burmy lives to see another day. There's, all right, so they do have the knockout. I don't know if I would have gone about it that way. It doesn't seem that like important. Also, I don't know why they didn't get Battle VIP pass. That was very odd. They play 4, or they play 3 in their deck. So now, if I get the knockout here on this Meloetta, I'm actually like in a really good spot. I'm definitely not going to Marnie him. We're just going to go ahead and research here. We're just looking for Zoroark Energy. There's the Zoroark. We have a trade. Worst case, we can actually get this Wheezing out. And at that point, I'm not feeling too bad either. I would really like to this energy and just knock out his Meloetta. Right, we did not hit that. Let's see here. We can go ahead, thin the Golisopod out of our deck. Grab another Zorua here, I think is probably the right move. We have research again for next turn. Now, I can either grab the... and grab Wheezing just to force them to have nothing again, which doesn't seem bad. And then next turn, if I hit energy, it's basically the same thing. I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do here just because I didn't hit the energy, because they are still just going to knock it out, but I think that's fine. We'll go ahead and pass over to them. I would have liked to have knocked out. I think the game pretty much would have ended right there. I don't know what more they could have done. So next turn, we're looking for Twin, maybe another Path to the Peak. They are going to get their basic Mew out. Considering they're already down 2 of their fusion energies. So there's the basic Dark. Here's Knockout. So we're going to go in with the same game plan. They get their abilities back. But like I said, nothing really happened last turn. There's Zoroark. We have double trade online and research. So our odds of hitting what we need here are pretty good. No energy quite yet, but I still think we can do this. There's the energy we needed. Okay, we'll bench another Chinchino or Minchino. We have Pod in the discard pile already. Let's go and make do again. I think we're going to get rid of the research here. From here, I think we want to be a little bit more selective off of what we are discarding. So Zinnias will probably be the move going forward. And it is safer to use this now, because Golisopod is still going to get the knockout on his active. And assuming they do set up their board a little bit, Golisopod is going to be our ideal attacker. Go ahead and take this knockout here. We are in a pretty decent spot. I would have liked to get another Zorua down. We had Ultra Ball, but there was nothing in my hand I really wanted to get rid of, and we have a Burmy, so at the very least we're attacking. Still have 2 Wormadams left in the deck, but I don't feel too threatened at the moment yet. They don't need too much to take this knockout, but even if they take it, like, I think we are still pretty much ahead. We have 3rd trade online. We can get rid of this Minchino next. There's no guarantee he even has energy. Yep, and there we see the retreat. So I think what we're going to be looking here for is Boss, just to get a hit in on this. Oh, so he might actually have the energy. He's trying to thin down for the... there we go, okay. So his turn isn't over quite yet. There's still some things he can do. He has the knockout here. And there's another Genesect. So his turn is... his deck's probably going to get going now. Never good when they flip heads on Cramomatic. But honestly, the more GXs the more Vs they get set up, the better for me, I think. We still have both of our bands. And now they're only 1 V away from letting us one-shot a Mew with the Golisopod once we get it set back up. So I think next turn our goal is going to be to get double Zorua in play. We're down 1 Roseanne's, but we still have 1 more, and we have 2 Zoruas still in deck, so I'm not too worried about it. This is Ordinary Rod. That is an interesting card of the deck, I guess. All right, and there's the last V that we need. So even if he benches another Meloetta, I'm not sweating it too much. So now our game plan is just going to be to knock out a big Mew and then probably boss up a Genesect for game. If I had to assume, we're going to hit into him this turn, and then he's going to try to look for his power thingamajiggies, power tablets, and hit me with this attack, the Psychic Leap, and shuffle in. So I'm not too concerned about how much damage we do to him this turn, as long as we hit the Zoruas we want on our bench. There's our path, which is pretty helpful actually. Go ahead and get some of these Pokemon in the discard pile. We have Quick Ball and Ultra Ball. I should have looked a little bit more just to see what was in our prizes. We'll go ahead and Quick Ball away one of the Evo instances. So we did prize a Zorua, so if they are smart, they're probably going to go for a boss on that Zorua, I would assume. Zinnia's here. Draw some more cards. We do have to be a little bit careful about decking out, but I think we are okay for right now. How many Pokemon do we have? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. So theoretically ban matters, but I do think it's gonna be an, I think we want to hold on to them, honestly. They have not played any power tablets, if I'm not mistaken. They are down 3 crams and we have path in play. I'm gonna hold on to it for right now. We'll see what happens. There's the basic Psychic Energy Quick Ball. Let's see if he has a counter stadium. I know his list does play a couple, but he's down 2 stadiums right now. Looks like he plays 3 stadiums in his deck, so he has 1 more. So there's actually a pretty good chance that he doesn't knock me out here. Oh, he doesn't. All right, that's fine. So the most important thing we can do now is just dig for Roseanne's, and we have to get another basic down. They can evolve next turn. There's the Roseanne's we needed. Perfect. Grab some of those back. So now we're in our very commanding position. All right, we'll go ahead and Ultra Ball here. Don't need research anymore, and I think we are safe to get rid of this extra boss. Go ahead and grab our Zorua. We have enough cards in deck to where we don't have to worry about decking out. Have our last energy. As long as I don't brutally mess this up, I think we are good to win this game. Grab our Golisopod. Do more than enough damage to knock out the remaining HP on this Mew. We get to save both of our bands. Save our last trade. No reason to get that close to decking out. Take the knockout here. Now, even if they don't bench any more V Pokemon, they already have the 4. That's 230 with resistance 200. And now our last Zorua here is going to be knocking out. This would have actually made it annoying, but we saved our bands, so we're all good to still take a boss knockout on the Genesect. I don't think there's anything he's going to be able to do here to win the game. He's going to go ahead and escape rope. I don't actually think that matters. I guess we'll hand him a Chinchino. I'm not even convinced he has knockout, actually. Oh, and he does not. So the game actually just ends right here. I went to you have a good deck. And just like that, the game is over. We have the balloon that we saved. Go ahead and retreat and knock out his Mew. That's game 1. All done. We took the dub against Mew. Kinda nice. Let's go ahead and report that win. Why? I should lose this now. We can do this. We can do this. Watch, they're gonna go second, they're gonna Marnie me, and they're gonna Marnie me into like, I don't know, 4 stage 1s and energy. 4 worms and energy. Ooh, we got like, I actually think I'm just gonna do nothing with this hand right now. We got the fighting one, so next turn we're gonna Ultra Ball away the fighting dude, whatever we top deck, get a Zoroark into the fighting Wormadam, attach Chinchino. Alright, this hand is like actually goated. My opponent Marnie's, he's stream sniping. Watch this. It's like the best opening hand ever. Don't play Marnie. Don't play Marnie. Don't play Marnie. please. I'm gonna be so sad if he Marnies. Let's go. We got to keep it. The other day I was playing a game on TCGO and I turn 1 or turn 2 knocked out a Gengar with Fighting Worm. It was so funny. See, and if we play the Electrode that I was talking about earlier, then this is a better matchup because we can use their Tower of Darkness to thin. Oh, perfect. Top deck 2, another bad stage 1 that we don't need. Count my energies while I'm in here. All right, we prized no energies. We got both bands, both Zinnias. We did prize Balloon. We prized a 1/1 Chinchino, Balloon, and then like some miscellaneous consistency stuff. Okay, yeah, we have no excuse to lose this game. I don't think we're gonna get the turn 1 knockout just because we don't have like any Pokemon in our discard, but I guess it's possible. We will see. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, if we hit band, we actually had knockout there. Wow. 3, 4, 5, 160. Yeah, we're just gonna go in here and hit him for good old 160. Now, having both these Roseannes in my hand is kind of unfortunate. I would have, because I want to research now. Oh, I have Marnie. Never mind, we're good. So he's gonna go in here with that Gengar. I mean, if he like, oh, he does the Marnie for me. That helps. So now I can research if I find one. I got the double trade already set up. I'm good. Oh, there's Zinnia. Sorry, that's what I like to see. Oh, and he whiffs. Okay. Oh, we hit the boss too. Let's go. Okay. All right. What I say? What I say? Chat. What I say? Chat. Gengar War second format? Question mark. 3-2.